Hello. Before I start ranking these games, there are a few things that I do want to mention. The first thing I want to mention is that this is just my personal opinion. These are the games that I ranked in the order that I enjoyed them the most. Doesn't mean that you're going to have the same opinion as me. The second thing I want to mention is that there is two games that I included in this list that is not part of the Life is Strange series. That is Tell Me Why and Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I included these two games because they were also developed by Don't Nod, who developed some of the other Life is Strange games, so I just wanted to include them. They also have very good storylines to them and have sort of the same feel, so I did feel like including them in this video. The last thing I want to mention, probably the most important, is that even though this is a ranking and I will have one of these at the very bottom, like coming in at number 8, does not mean I hated that one. It just means that some of these other ones were more memorable. I would highly recommend every single one of these games if you're into story games, if you want to start story games. These are perfect. These are great. They all have very good storylines. So just keep that in mind that even though it's a ranking, I would recommend it anyway. So coming in at number 8 for me was Captain Spirit. Like I said, I would recommend every single one of these games. This one is no exception. It's a good one. It's very short. I think it was just a demo. It was an added on part to Life is Strange 2 because you do get to see the brothers in there, plus you get to see him in their stories. So it kind of aligns with that. In this short little story, you're following this boy named, I believe his name is Charlie. It's been a long time since I played this one. So Charlie lost his mother and he's living with a single dad, and his dad is not really caring for him the way he should be because he's an alcoholic and he spends most of his time on the couch watching games and just, drinking beers. So Charlie is kind of forced to fend for himself, and he has this persona of a superhero. So you get to see some of like the thoughts that he's going through and him just trying to navigate through life. And like I said, you do get to see the brothers from Life is Strange too, which I think is really neat. This is kind of just a really sad little story, but I did enjoy it. I just don't remember too much about it, maybe because it's been a long time since I played it, but I would still highly recommend this one as well. Coming in at number 7 for me was Life is Strange Before the Storm. So this game was released after the first one, but the timeline is before, so it was released as a prequel. And in this one, you're learning more about the character Chloe and just learning more about her background and her character development. And you get to see why she makes certain choices the way she does. It's really nice to focus more on her character. And even though this game in particular follows more of her friend Rachel, you get to see it from Chloe's point of view. So I do like that. And I know I did enjoy this one. I just don't remember it as well as I do remember the other one. So I would still highly recommend this one, of course, too. Coming in at number 6 for me was Tell Me Why. And again, even though this is not part of the Life is Strange series, I did want to include it because it's a very good story game. And in this one, you're following the set of twins who are going back to their hometown to resell their late mother's house. And what's interesting is these twins can communicate with each other without speaking, and they remember their mother differently. So in one scenario, their mother's the most evil person in the world, and in another scenario, they remember their mother being the most caring mother in the world. So you're trying to figure out which one's real and what's not. So you're talking to different people from the town, trying to get background information, I guess. And at one point, you're also trying to learn who your real father is. It's a really good game. It's not, I don't, I could even have it all memorized wrong, but that's just how I remember it. And even though I have a very bad memory, I would still recommend this one. It was good. Coming in at number 5 for me was Life is Strange Double Exposure. So I was so excited when this one came out because you're getting reintroduced to the character Max from the first one. And in this one, you're following the character Max, and it's about her friend Savvy though. So her friend Savvy gets murdered like straight in the beginning of the game. And what's cool about this one is you get to jump timelines. So you're in a timeline where Savvy's still alive, and you jump timelines where she's not. So you're living through two different timelines, and it's kind of neat to see Max and how she grew as a person a little bit. And like I said, the graphics are so much better. I was so excited, so pumped for this one. I did enjoy it. It's still recommended highly by me. I don't know, even if you haven't played the first one, you would still enjoy this one as well. I loved it. Number 4 for me was Lost Records Bloom and Rage, and this is the other one that is not part of the Life is Strange series, but it gives off kind of the same vibes and the same feel. And I did mention this one in the other video that I posted a little while ago, and this one's probably the most freshest in my memory because this is the one that I recently played. This one was released actually this year, and it's about these 4 friends living in the 1990s, so it's very nostalgic for me, and I loved every aspect of it. And yeah, you're following these 4 friends. You're mostly from Swan's point of view, and you just get to relive the life that you were living in the 1990s. I loved it so much. And there's a tragic story that happens with it as well, just like most of these other story games. But I would highly recommend this. I don't want to give away too much of what happens, but if you have a chance to play this one, I suggest you do. All right, so coming in number 3 is Life is Strange: True Colors. So this is gonna sound so silly why this
My
is so high
books
on my
might
list,
pick up
but
a few
the reason
shifts
why I love
before I
this
wake up.
game so much is because of the small, little,
So
quaint
you've been
town that it
dealing
takes
with
place in,
grief.
even the little apartment that you're mostly spending time in. I just loved every
When you
part of that. I
said that
feel
you
like
had a
this is where
nice
I wanna see
place, I was
myself
picturing a
retire. I don't know,
small
I
but
think it's such a
homey.
silly reason to love a
Well then,
game, but this is why I love this one.
welcome to my
And in
crib.
this one, you're following Alex's story and her brother. Something tragic happens. You're trying to wow, excuse
Seriously,
me. You're trying to figure out
this
why
is
it happened,
great.
but like I said, the town is just what sold it
And the
for me on
best
this
part
one.
is,
Coming in number 2 for me was Life is Strange 2. So this is the sequel to the first one, and this one is forever etched in my brain. This is just a great one. It's heartwarming, heartbreaking, and this game actually opens up kind of crazy. The father is shot by an officer, leaving the two younger brothers to care for themselves. They end up going on the run from the law because of the event that happens at the beginning of the story, and you just navigate through this as the brothers kind of care for each other, but the older one kind of takes on the role of the caregiver for his younger brother, and it's just very sweet. He tells stories to his brother about these two wolves that he's actually using as an analogy for him and his brother. And they are just trying to find out where they fit in the world, where they can live, where they can stay. It's just very, like I said, very heartbreaking and also very heartwarming. This one's a great game. I really loved it. Like I said, it is number 2. I would definitely play this one again. And at number 1 for me is Life is Strange, the first one. So this is where it all started. This is where my love for this series actually blossomed from. I actually do remember too borrowing this game from Microplay back when we had Microplay in our city. Now we can't even borrow video games from anywhere. It's kind of wild. But I remember seeing it on the Microplay shelf and just thinking, I'll give this game a try. I don't know what it is. I had no idea. But I'm so glad I did because now it's just every time they put out a game, I am there, I'm buying it.
What's
This
happening?
one actually is going to be my favorite because like I said, it just got me into the whole thing. So in this game, it actually follows a whole bunch of different story plots. There's actually a lot of things in this that are like very sensitive
Where is
topics, such
here?
as bullying and so many different things that I can't really say on here. But you're following Max,
Who's
essentially, the main
everywhere?
character,
I'll
and
be safe if
her
we can
best
work
friend,
together.
Chloe. You're trying to find a missing girl named Rachel
Please let me
Price.
make it
There's a
through.
girl who's being bullied online. There's partying, there's drugs, there's
Holy shit.
people, there's adults that are just not being very good adults. There's a lot happening in this game. Up until this point, I did forget to mention something about all these games is that you as a player get to pick different choices with these games that determine how the game plays out, which I think is such a great concept. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can let me know what
So
your
sorry.
ranking is if you have a different ranking than me. I'm just curious to know which one you like the
but
most.
he could
But
be talking about
yeah,
the
this is my
holidays.
list. Thanks for watching. Bye.